What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Season 4 live stream for the South Dakota Dynasty. I'm excited for this, get to move forward and see what this South Dakota roster will look like after we go through the offseason, meet some of the new players in practice, and just continue this team's ascent in college football and see how much better we can get. So I appreciate everyone being out here on a Saturday. Probably going to watch some of the FCS football a little later after the stream's over, which should be pretty fun. Watched some of that last week, North Dakota State's game. Zeb Nolan, getting his first start. Their running game still looks good. Probably still the best team in FCS. But we got a good bit to go through today. One thing I noticed just in the stream earlier, or not in the stream, before the stream earlier, was looking at some stats for players, and there was one player who really stood out to me. He has a brand new record for college football. No one's ever done this before in the entire history of college football. A couple players have done it in the NFL at this point, but Nolan Matthews, a tight end for Arizona State, he had 1,000 yards rushing and 1,000 yards receiving. They had their top two running backs get hurt at one point this season. AJ Carter, he came back, played well, averaging 100 yards per game, but Nolan Matthews, he was their number 3 running back on the roster. So with both their two running backs went out who were ahead of him, he stepped in, ran for 1,000 yards. He was their number 4 receiver, number 1 tight end, and number 2 fullback. So they used him in a variety of ways. Had a breakout season. He's a senior, will be graduating, so we'll see if he moves on to the NFL. But averaged 14 yards per catch, 16 touchdowns, 1,000 yards, and 76 receptions, along with 228 carries on the ground and nearly 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I noticed it, I think, early in the season. I was just looking at some stats, and I noticed both their running backs were hurt, and he was having a good season, but ended up with 1,000 through the air and 1,000 through the ground. Jaden Daniels was good, 44 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I don't know we'll check what their record was real quick. I don't think they were in the top 25 or anything, so pretty crazy with how good their offense appears to have been. Pac-12. Yeah, so Arizona State 7-6. They, I guess, probably made a bowl game and won it would be my assumption. Yep. Oh, they beat Wyoming in overtime. So, ended their season on a high note. I think Herm Edwards is still there. They had a really good season a couple seasons ago, I believe. But that's pretty much it. We'll be saying goodbye to 18 different seniors today, and we'll have to see what the future holds for this team. Players like Deontay Knox, Sylvia, J.R. Miller, Jalen Page, Tevin Robinson, Jack Sternberg, all will be gone, so a good bit of turnover on this roster. I think we still have the talent, though, in the younger players on the roster to fill in, though. But I think we're going to go ahead and get into the actual offseason, and we'll have to see what all changes for this team as we move forward. So we did end up in the season top 5 in red zone percentage. Alec Hennies, I think, only missed 1 kick all season. And then Terrence Mitchell was a freshman All-American. We had no other representatives in the All-American or All-Mountain West Conference teams, which definitely surprised me. Yeah, J.R. Miller, he definitely will be missed. He was just, from day one, our starting quarterback. Improved every season, was a good dual-threat quarterback at times, and just did what we needed him to do and had some big games throughout his career. But we can see the steady climb for this team. 1 win, 2 win, 3 wins, and now 4 wins. Christian Vaughn is 7-17 so far in his second season, taking over for Bob Nielsen. So the program wants us to get to 6 wins, and that is my goal for this season, get us into our first bowl game. It's going to be tough, but I think it is possible for us to do. So now we move into players leaving and coaching changes. So we'll have to see if we have any transfers, any changes on our coaching staff, which hopefully we can keep some consistency and also have no one transfer out so we can continue to get better as a program. Also, it would be nice if we're able to get maybe a transfer in from another school to give us an instant impact. Or I guess a year delayed instant impact, I guess, is what it would be. But we'll go into coaching changes first and go to the Mountain West Conference. So Boise State, a new head coach, Will Hall's their new offensive coordinator. Not sure where Bush Hamdan came from, but he's replacing Tom Coughlin, who really struggled there. Bud Foster at Hawaii's been let go. Matt Feeney now there with Phil Longo. So a couple good OCs that are coming into the Mountain West Conference, who we've seen have high-powered offenses. North Dakota State, I don't think their offensive or defensive staffs, anyone on their coaching staff, has changed so far in this series. Rocky Long retires, so Frank Wilson takes over for him. South Dakota State, they have a new OC in Ryan Caldwell, and no changes for us. DC, though, for Wyoming is now Tom Allen, so they get a big upgrade there. Feeney, he was the one, yeah, so he's now at Hawaii from Wyoming. Yeah, maybe J.R. Miller. Maybe he sneaks in as an undrafted free agent to the NFL, maybe into the CFL, who knows. But we'll see around the rest. We'll look at North Dakota real quick. They have another new head coach as they get Pat Narduzzi. So that's a great hire for them. And actually get Bubba Schweigert back onto the coaching staff. He was their coach in season 1, was fired, and has returned to Grand Forks. So Bill Clark now at Army along with Bob Shoop. Idaho gets a new head coach. And then Notre Dame keeps theirs the same, except for Clark Lee moves on, and they replace him with Andy Avalos. Clemson stays the same. New head coach at Georgia Tech. Bud Foster's now their defensive coordinator. See any other coaching changes. Syracuse with another new head coach. Alex Grinch didn't work out, it appears, there. In the Big Ten, Pat Fitzgerald's actually been fired. That's crazy. So they have a new head coach for the first time in a long time. New defensive coordinator for Ohio State. And that's pretty much it for them. In the Big 12, Les Miles has retired, been replaced by Jeff Brom. So that's a pretty good hire for them. Jeff Monken in the triple option looks to be headed to Manhattan, replacing Chris Kleiman. Have to check where he went. And then Philip Montgomery is still at TCU. And a couple changes. Bob Nielsen has been fired from West Virginia. So we'll check where, let's see, Chris Kleiman and Bob Nielsen are now. So Bob Nielsen now at UTSA is their defensive coordinator. And Chris Kleiman went to TCU, so he is a defensive coordinator now at the Power 5 level. So that's definitely interesting, a connection to us through North Dakota State. And in the Pac-12, see Barry Odom now at Arizona, replacing Justin Wilcox. Kevin Sumlin's been fired, so that's something different. And pretty much it there. Pat Fitzgerald now at Oregon as the DC. Go back to sorting it this way. Wow, that's a massive one. Nick Saban has retired and replaced by Rod Carey, who I think was at Northern Illinois. Let's see. No, we'll have to check where, or I think he was at Temple. Is that right? Nope, we'll have to see where he came from. But that's a big one in the SEC. Nick Saban's finally retired. We'll have to see how that shakes up the conference. Outside of that, you can see Alex Grinch is now the new head coach at Missouri after failing at his other job, replacing Barry Odom. So let's see, where did Rod Carey come from, and how did he get the Alabama job, replacing Nick Saban? Definitely probably not on the top list. So he was Florida Atlantic's coach. Okay, they only lost once all season, finished in the top 5, so it makes a little bit of sense, but I don't think Alabama fans would be very happy if that's who they ended up with as their head coach after Nick Saban leaves. So to players leaving, we have 18 players who graduated. We'll look by position. So 3 different quarterbacks are gone. J.R. Miller, who was our starter for 3 years and 2 games. Ezekiel Wood, who was our backup quarterback for the last 3 seasons for the most part, and then Corbin Brady, who never threw a pass in his career. We lose Jalen Page, who ended up with 2,200 rushing yards and 15 touchdowns, was our starting running back basically in all 4 seasons. LaDorian Bolden, Deontay Knox, who was our number 1 receiver in all 4 seasons. So a number of real big contributors who will be moving on. Muhammad Ali Saria, who played for the first time this year. Brock Peterson, who only had a few catches in his career but was a good blocking tight end. He'll be moving on. Then on the offensive line, couple of backups, and then Jack Sternberg, who our 5'7" undersized center, will finally have someone who's not super small at center. Yep, all-time rushing touchdown leader for South Dakota. Deontay Knox is the all-time leader in receiving yards. And then Shadell Hansen, Tevin Robinson, Francois Lokanai, who got 1 tackle in his career, and it was a tackle for loss. So some turnover at the defensive end positions. Kelly Sprinkle, Sylvia Widener's gone, Trayshawn Toney, Ross Bukowski, Kevin O'Kelly. So we have 18 players graduating, but one thing I feel like to keep in mind is how many of them are starters. So Ezekiel, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of the 18 weren't starters, weren't really contributors. So it's a little misleading with that many players leaving, but you can't discount the actual impact players with 1 4-year, 2, 3, 4 4-year starters. Also Ross Bukowski, so another one, and Shadell Hansen. So a number of long tenured Coyotes will all be moving on. Before we move forward, let's check out the other Dakota schools, see if they have anyone who is moving on. So South Dakota State, good bit of talent that's moving on, but no one transferring or going into the draft. Then for North Dakota, not a lot of talent moving on. Claude Patterson, who did have a good senior season, he'll be gone. Brad Horn, who had a couple big catches against us, that 120-yard diving catch. So they're not losing a whole ton. North Dakota State, on the other hand, they lose one of their best offensive linemen, their best defensive linemen, starting halfback, couple linebackers, top corners, another defensive tackle. So they once again have a lot to replace. They struggled in season 3, got a lot better in season 4. Season 3, a big part of their problem was they've had so much turnover. And once again, they do have turnover, but I think they have talent with players like Tim Dingle and Tremaine Stuckey. So we'll move forward and see if we get any Coyotes in the draft. We do not. Wasn't really expecting anyone to be drafted. Then see if any of the Dakota schools got anyone. South Dakota State, no. North Dakota, no. And North Dakota State, no. So no one from the Dakotas was drafted this season. And yeah, so hopefully in the next couple of seasons, I feel like if Bo Weaver could have redshirted, he probably would have been drafted potentially, but he was not, so he would be our best chance. I'm not sure if he'll get a high enough overall though. Then to just look at, oh my goodness, with Rod Carey taking over for Alabama, he's going to have a lot to replace. That's an insane number of players drafted. I feel like that would have to be a record. That would battle LSU's number of players drafted from last season, because that's 9 players, 17 different players drafted, which is just insane. A running back, 2 wide receivers, 3 offensive linemen, 4 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, 3 corners, and 2 safeties. So it looks like basically their entire defense was drafted, and then most of their skill position players were drafted. They always recruit well, but that's going to be a lot to replace and a lot of talent to replace. So transfer requests, once again, no transfers. We're just going to have to build the old-fashioned way through recruiting and developing all these players that we're getting on this roster. So now we get to move forward, see the recruiting board, and finish off our recruiting class. We currently only have one spot left with no one transferring out and no one transferring into our program. So we'll have to see who we're going to fill that final spot with. We'll look currently in terms of top classes. We are 119th right now. We've been in season 1. We were 124, then 124 in season 2, and then last year 126, though last place. But that was a smaller class, and that was a big part of why we were lower then. But ULM, Wake Forest, and Duke are all the way at the bottom. Duke only has 4 commits right now. Not a great recruiting class, only 2 3-stars. So we'll have to see what they're able to do. So let's see. So we'll look at the recruiting board. Quick recap of all the prospects we currently have committed. We have Elijah Eason, decent athlete, not a great passer. Dexter Johnson, he's a good pass rusher. Omar Rogers is a decent blocker, has the potential to develop in that way at least. Just a nice developmental player for us. Isaiah Simon, a little bit better of a runner than Elijah Eason, but also undersized. Chancellor Adams, I really like him. He's not super fast, but great acceleration and could be a good power back for us at 215. Travion Hart, big wide receiver at 6'3" with good speed. Then Jalen Paul, undersized, but a good athlete, and with time to develop could be very talented for us. Really like Nolan Durant out of South Dakota. He's a great athlete and could just develop and be a jack of all trades linebacker. LaShawn Olsen, 5'11", so decent size. I believe he is a pretty good athlete, but only 160 pounds and has a long way to go. Timothy Hart, a massive defensive end at 6'6", 280. Then Sammy Exum, another good athletic linebacker. Jordan Hurt, pretty decent athlete at free safety with some good coverage ratings and block shedding to start. Denzel Oliver, undersized at defensive tackle, adds depth, similar to Daniel Hernandez. Keyshawn Johnson's really good. I really like him. Not sure where he fits best moving forward, though, in terms of our roster, but he has great acceleration, coverage that can develop, good finesse moves, good block shedding for a safety. So he could be a free safety, could be a strong safety, maybe even a linebacker, like a dime linebacker, something like that. Deandre Law, maybe my favorite player we've recruited so far in this series. He's undersized at only 5'10", 220. Out of Minneapolis, it was a tight battle with UTSA and Wyoming for him, but he is a great athlete. He can run, he can jump, he can hit, great pursuit, decent finesse moves, good block shedding, great zone coverage. Super excited. He'll be a day one starter for us, no doubt about that. And then Deshawn Calhoun, he's a little undersized at only 6 foot, from Canada, but just has a big body and has some decent strength, and with time to develop could be a pretty good run stopper. So at the top of the board, we have Antoine Williams, 58 overall, 6'3", from South Carolina. The only thing with him is his acceleration's a 63, and I'm not sure how much that can really develop to allow him to create separation. Ryan Simmons, 6'3", 242. He's a good pass rusher, or has decent finesse moves, but we have a number of defensive ends currently on the roster and in this recruiting class, so I'm not sure how big of a need he would fill. Then Ty King, undersized, 5'10", but decent speed, would need a long time to develop though as an actual receiver. We have Naji Johnson. He is a good athlete at linebacker, but outside of that doesn't really provide much. Undersized Matthew Myers, pretty decent, but we have 5 current defensive tackles with the commitments on our roster. Griffin Boyd is a junior college quarterback, doesn't really fit what we're looking for. He's more of a pocket passer, and we already have a junior college quarterback on the roster to back up Jalen Tate, so I don't really think he provides a whole lot. Then Christopher Anderson, I feel like he would be decent, but he's just way too slow to be a linebacker for us and doesn't provide a lot outside of that. Same for Alejandro Perez. And then you get down the board and it drops off a little more. So I think, was thinking about this earlier, I think it comes down to Antoine Williams and Ryan Simmons. Ty King is interesting to me along with Matthew Myers, but I think if we're going to go with a receiver, Antoine Williams is the move over Ty King. He adds size and strength to our receiving core, which isn't something we really have. We have added Travion Hart, who's 6'3", so that would be two incoming receivers who have some nice size. Simmons, the only thing with him I feel like is he would be a right end for us, and we currently already have Dexter Johnson committed, who I feel is a better prospect with 76 finesse moves versus 72 power moves, although Simons could be a little bit better of a run stopper, but I don't think that's too important for us. And I feel like he would just sit a while behind Trey Thomas and Dexter Johnson. So I think we're going to go ahead, put our points into Antoine Williams, who only have the one spot available, and just go all out for him. Allows us to increase our recruiting base a little bit to South Carolina as well. And I think that is the move that we're going to make. I don't think there's really anything else here before we can move forward to signing day. So now moving forward, we'll have to see how this recruiting class shakes up in the rankings, if we're able to get Antoine Williams, along with a number of other things to check out in the recruiting area. And I'll check out the custom recruits once we get to the preseason. I can't really check it out right now. So we do end up getting Antoine Williams' commitment. It says these two have committed to us. They didn't have a scholarship offer, and so it doesn't look like they actually did commit to us. So I'll have to see where they did actually end up going. A little weird it says they committed to our team, but we'll have to see. So a number of players decided to, I guess, go to junior college or not play college football at all. So number of players there, but Matthew Myers goes to North Dakota. So that's a good commitment for them, adds some depth to their defensive line. Alejandro Perez from Texas stays in-state at North Texas. And then we do get the commitment by far from Antoine Williams. So we'll have to see the top classes. And we end up 126, so dead last once again. But I think there's talent in this recruiting class. When you have players like Jalen Paul, Nolan Durant, Timothy Hart, who are all one-star prospects, I think they have more talent than a one-star. And our 2 stars, I think, are probably closer to a 3 stars with players like Deandre Law, Keyshawn Johnson, Chancellor Adams. So we'll see. Check out a few other things here. Always like to do a look at where all of our prospects are actually from. So we'll see. Get all these guys off the board, and then we can get the look at the map to see where we're currently targeting recruits from. I think in Season 5, we're going to expand that area a little bit and try and target a few more talented players to help this team grow in the talent level throughout the whole roster. But a bunch of players who decided, I guess they're going to junior college instead of playing college football this year. So 18 players in the class. Look at our pipeline states now. So we have 5 different pipelines: Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska, North and South Dakota. So you can see we've kept this tight little area around us, but we did go into Canada along with, I think that's Maryland, or we got one from Virginia in Omar Rogers, and then Antoine Williams from South Carolina. So expanded that area a little bit, but let's see, where do we get most of our commitments from? Get the state-by-state breakdown. So 4 from South Dakota, so we keep the hometown kids here. and then Nebraska, Iowa, Montana, and Minnesota, and then one from Canada, Virginia, South Carolina, and North Dakota. Yeah, I think we may try and get our first 3-star this season and try and speed up this rebuild a little bit, get some more talented players on this roster, and see if we can make this team better. But we'll look at the Spark 100. So Charlie Ross goes to Michigan. He's the number 1 player. Notre Dame gets the number 2 and 3. Mississippi State gets a player from California, the number 1 running back. Kansas gets the number 3 receiver and number 6 overall. Then a couple familiar faces. South Carolina gets the number 9 player in the class. Arizona State up there. Wake Forest gets a 5-star, so that's interesting. Look at, just quickly see a few more from Alabama, the number 1 defensive end in the country. He goes to FAU. Must have saw their really good season with Bo Nix this season and decided to stay home and play for the Owls. See if there's anyone who wasn't committed anywhere in this top 100. Looks like everyone signed somewhere. Then we'll look at the quarterback. So number 1, Cody Cusco goes to Southern Cal. Trey Wilson goes to Minnesota. Trevor Smith III goes to Memphis. And then Anthony Cosmas goes to Wisconsin. Looks like Cosmas is a good dual threat quarterback. Cody Cusco, 6'2", 237. Could be that next star quarterback from the West Coast for Southern Cal. And then Memphis gets a good quarterback as well. So one more thing to check here. We'll look at North and South Dakota to see where the best prospects in our closest states went. So we did have 1 5-star this year. He went to Michigan. 3-star Hugo Huerta went to Boston College. Akron gets a junior college transfer in Jalen Dent. Punter goes nowhere. Then Utah State, it looks like, got Xavier Garcia as a junior college tackle, and then the rest went to us. Then North Dakota, Travis Ratke ends up going nowhere. Isaiah Simon comes to play for us. Naji Johnson goes nowhere, and Daniel Bracey, junior college player, goes to Northern Illinois. One thing to note real quick is we only have 9 seniors on the roster for next year, so it'll be a pretty small class for this next season. Only 9 spots open. That's assuming no one transfers out from the program, but it should allow us to be more targeted in our recruiting and hopefully get a higher rated class with more highly regarded prospects. So now some position changes. Gonna rework the roster a little bit. You can see we got our 4 quarterbacks now, 5 running backs, Christopher Smith at fullback, Antoine Williams and Travion Hart. Then along the offensive line, need a new center. Move Sonny Hubbard there. Need to even out our guards now, so we'll go with Jalen Paul to right guard, then left and right tackle, then we'll move Daniel Hernandez to right tackle because he's more of a run blocker. All right, Dexter Johnson to right end, Timothy Hart to left end, and Deshawn Calhoun to left end to balance that out. So now we got to figure out what to do with our linebacking core. So we have no Sylvia now. Add Deandre Law along with Deion Perkins and LaDorian McCray. Jackson Harvey at right outside linebacker. So I think what we're going to do, move Jackson Harvey to left outside linebacker to play in that Sylvia role, rushing the passer some, because I think he's best suited for that with some decent finesse moves. Then we'll move LaDorian McCray to right outside linebacker to be a starter there. Logan McGee can stay there. Sammy Exum. Let's see if we have anyone who can rush the passer to be at left outside linebacker. So Nolan Durant, pretty decent there. Yeah, 65 power move. So I think this will actually work. Jackson Harvey backed up by Logan McGee. Sammy Exum will redshirt. Deandre Law and Deion Perkins. And then LaDorian McCray at right outside linebacker. Now we got to figure out what to do with our safeties. So DeMarco Anderson and Donnell Beecham there. Keyshawn Johnson. Not sure what I want to do with him, because don't think he would play immediately at strong safety. He'd be stuck behind DeMarco Anderson for a couple years. I like Quintez Stevenson at free safety, but he's got, let's see, decent finesse moves. So I think the move with him, because he doesn't have the speed to be a true free safety, we have some players at strong safety. I may put him at middle linebacker. His overall goes down a good bit, but I think he fits well there. He can have a little bit of time to develop behind Deandre Law and Deion Perkins, and we can also, gives us a little bit of time to figure out what his best role is with this team. So outside of that, I think all of our position changes are good now. So now we get to the part of the offseason where there are absolutely no negatives, and that is training results. So we get to see how much better this team got. Number one player on the roster is Bo Weaver, and like I was saying, if he would have redshirted, he probably would have ended up in the 90s overall, and most certainly would have been drafted. Got Cordell Hicks, Alex Hennies now is the third rated, Juwan Hooper, Jackson Harvey, a +6 from Jalen Tate, that's massive. Then you can see a number of younger players on this upper part, or players that we've recruited at least. Because if you look, players we've recruited, everyone except for Jacoby Patton, the 9 out of the 10 of them have been recruited so far in this series. So at quarterback, a +6 for Jalen Tate like we saw. Gets faster, more agile, better runner. And gets a +4 to throw accuracy, and gets a little bit of a stronger arm. That is excellent to see. He struggled with his accuracy a little bit at times, and getting that +4 should be a big help. Weston Carver will be his backup. He got a little faster, a little more athletic. Still not a great arm though, especially in terms of throw accuracy. A +7 for Rakeem Boyd. That's another really good one. He gets faster. Dontavius Knight gets a +4, and then a +5 for Christian Smith-Brown and Noah Whiting. So Boyd gets faster. They all actually get faster. The acceleration and agility now for Tay Knight is great. 70 trucking. Great spin and juke move for Rakeem Boyd, and a +5 carrying, which is great to see. We do have some carrying concerns with Christian Smith-Brown and Noah Whiting, but they do get better in that area. Christopher Smith, great acceleration, gets a little bit better as a ball carrier, replacing LaDorian Bolden, and is a pretty decent run blocker and pass blocker for us. So number one receiver on the roster is Jacoby Patton. He gets a +5. Speed stays the same. Phoenix McDonald though gets a +6 and gets faster. Then we see Tyler Lanning, Trey Bryant, Ethan Miller, and Brandon Harrison all get fast. They all have some decent speed there, which is nice to see. No one's super great after the catch, it appears, except for a 71 spin move for Ethan Miller. Looking at the catching ratings, best hands goes to Jacoby Patton. Phoenix McDonald's gets better, and then Nathan Ellenbecker's get better. But rest of the receivers' catchings are in the 60s, which is not great. They also can't run super great routes So we'll have to figure out what is the best move for our receiving core, because I don't think Nathan Ellenbecker is the solution as the number 3 receiver either. Might have to get creative, although 80 route running is pretty good for Ellenbecker. At tight end, a +6 for both of our tight ends, as Cordell Hicks gets faster, more athletic, better after the catch, hands are even better, route running's even better. He looks to be poised for an absolutely breakout senior season, and then blocking gets better there as well. +5, only a +3 for Keandre Ibrahim, which is a little disappointing. He, in my mind, will replace Bo Weaver, but with development like that, that's not a great sign. Look at the blocking ratings for them. Weaver with mid-80s to high 80s for every category, then 70s for these two. A +4 for Jamie Landry. Let's see what he's up to an 89 pass block, getting a little bit better as a run blocker. Good balance for Clinton Ginter. Ben James, a +7 for Sonny Hubbard, so maybe a competition there for the starting center position. See their blocking ratings. So a 80 overall run block for Sonny Hubbard, more balanced for Ben James. +4 for Joseph Peitlich, who started all of last year. And then Noah Butler gets a +5, gets a little more athletic. And his run blocking is now up to an 88. So Jamie Landry and Noah Butler, pretty similar, or pretty much complete exact opposites of each other, but in the exact same way. Butler is a much better run blocker than pass blocker, whereas Jamie Landry is a much better pass blocker than run blocker. Xavier Thomas gets a +5. Shedrick Simpson and Trey Thomas get a +5. A +5 for Deron Covington and a +6 for Deron Covington and Justice O'Connor. Up to an 88 strength for Deron Covington. Yeah, I wish we could have redshirted Bo Weaver, but I'm pretty sure almost instantly was our highest rated offensive lineman, and you can't really redshirt that when you're trying to win games. So an 84 block shed now for Covington with 74 power moves. Other defensive linemen have a long way to go. Jackson Harvey with a +5. Logan McGee. Let's see what their coverage ratings are like. So up to 80 zone coverage for Jackson Harvey. 74 is pretty good for Logan McGee as a redshirt freshman. They both can rush the passer. Logan McGee not quite as good as a run stopper though. Deion Perkins with a +4, gets a little bit faster. LaDorian McCray gets faster, a +5 for Rayshawn Brailsford. Up to 94 hit power for McCray, good block shedding. Coverage gets a little bit better, still not great though. At corner, we now have senior Juwan Hooper, junior Dionne Kendrick, and then a couple of younger players. Terrence Mitchell gets faster. Top 4 corners all have great speed now, which is awesome. All have good hands too. And then good coverage ratings for the most part, at least for Kendrick and Hooper. Terrence Mitchell struggles in zone coverage, and then Latrell Hill is good in man coverage as well. Zayshawn Jones, undersized, good man coverage, not a great athlete though. Everyone here except for Zukowski gets a +5. Quintez Stevenson, I like his potential moving forward. He has good speed for a free safety, could be that center fielder for us. Zukowski gets a little bit faster, good zone coverage, especially really good man coverage. Then at strong safety, +5 for these two, +4 for Keel Foster. Anderson gets more athletic, can hit harder too. Donnell Beecham actually has pretty good hit power as well. And coverage rating still not great though. Heneyes with a +5. Leg gets good bit stronger, more accurate as well. Trey Tucker with a +7 with the +6 to kick power, which is great to see. So I don't think we should have to cut any players. Should be at the equal 70 level, and we are. But we can see the top players on our roster. Deandre Law already in our top 10 players and hasn't even played a snap yet. One thing we have added to this team is a good bit more amount of speed, both in our secondary and our receiving core and running backs, as we have that 10 players now with 90 speed, which is great. That's something we almost had none of when this series first began, and will be something that I continue to target moving forward. So now we get to move forward into the actual preseason portion. Got through the offseason pretty quickly. We'll look at the preview for Season 5 and then get into a little bit of practice. So now we're actually into the preseason portion. Look at our roster. I think the current plan is basically redshirt everyone on the team who is incoming as a freshman. Both the quarterbacks will be redshirted. I expect Chancellor Adams to be redshirted. We have 4 different active running backs this year. Then at receiver, Antoine Williams and Travion Hart. Omar Rogers. We're going to keep them, or not going to redshirt them yet, so we can allow them to actually practice some. Then the offensive linemen. We may be a little thin at defensive line this year because I plan to redshirt both Timothy Hart and Deshawn Calhoun. Dexter Johnson and Denzel Oliver may have some defensive tackles playing some defensive end for us, or some linebackers playing some defensive end. Sammy Exum. Of course, we won't be redshirting Deandre Law. Keyshawn Johnson will be redshirting. Nolan Durant will be an interesting one, but he'd be a backup at linebacker, so he will most likely redshirt. And then LaShawn Olsen and Jordan Hurt. So we'll have to figure out who we want to play this season. We'll see if we're able to schedule North Dakota again at home to end our season, to fill out the back end of our schedule. Is interesting though, this year we go through week 16 through the end of the season with no bye weeks. I think we play Nevada for the first time this year. We'll also play Hawaii again, this time at home. So we went to Hawaii last year. Yeah, we gotta schedule North Dakota. If they're not gonna win any games, we gotta get them on our schedule. So for our first game of the season, we'll have to figure that one out later. So a good bit of tough competition. Yeah, we're not gonna play Notre Dame. That's a no-go for me. I did want to see about playing Iowa or Nebraska to get another close team in the Power 5. See if there's anyone interesting here. Hard to remember exactly who we've played. Yeah, we already played Kansas, so I'm trying to keep it where we play new teams every year. I think we could definitely play them again at some point though. Let's see. maybe play Idaho for the first time. So then we would just have to figure out our season opener. This all will be subject to change though once I get a better idea of who we want to play. Maybe put Kent State for now to just get a base schedule and just an idea of who we're going to play. Looking at the depth chart, see what we want to do here. Quarterback looks good. At running back, put Christian Smith-Brown and Noah Whiting. I think Christopher Smith, though, could get some carries there. At wide receiver, question marks for sure. I think Cordell Hicks could potentially be our number 3 receiver, or Dontavius Knight. Get him split out wide more. Maybe try and get him a 1,000-yard season. At least 500 I think would be a pretty easy goal for him as a junior. We'll have to figure out the receiving core though. At tight end, that looks fine to me. Left tackle, Keandre Ibrahim. Sonny Hubbard will be the backup there. Right guard, Jalen Pauls will be redshirting. Then right tackle, Albert Schnell. Left end, fine for now. Defensive tackle, left outside linebacker, Logan McGee. Middle linebacker, right outside linebacker. Nolan Durant will be redshirting, so we'll get Rayshawn Brailsford. That looks good. Free safety, backup will be Deontay Taylor. And Quintez Stevenson. Strong safety, Donnell Beecham. And Keel Foster. So, let's see. We'll maybe do a couple of numbers real quick. Once again, these probably will change at least a decent amount. One number I did want to do was Ethan Miller, J.R. Miller's brother. We're going to give him, if it's available, give him number 3. Juwan Hooper has number 3, so I'll have to fix that. But I think it'll probably all be fine. Dionne Kendrick, let's see. He is the number 11 player on our roster in overall, so just slightly off that first screen. I'm hoping he can get a few more interceptions this year. Had 2 pick-6s in his freshman season, only 1 last year. Terrence Mitchell led us in interceptions, which I didn't really expect. Hopefully, as a team, we can get more than we had 4 or 5 interceptions all of last year and like 6 turnovers total. So hopefully we can do a little bit better with that and force more turnovers. I think that'll be a big part of us being successful if we're able to do that. All right, so we'll go ahead and get into practice and see some of these new players take the field for the first time and see how much better our existing players got. Real quick, I'm going to see any of the scores of the FCS games going on right now. Let's see. JMU tied with Robert Morrison. South Dakota's playing today against Illinois State, if anyone wants to check that out. No, Illinois State's pretty good. They lost to North Dakota State, though. But get a look at the real-life Coyotes. South Dakota State plays North Dakota today. Southern Illinois, North Dakota State. All right, so let's see this team play for the first time. with our new roster. Looks like our impact players currently are our offensive linemen, which is definitely interesting. Let's see. I think this one has some nice plays. We'll do 3-3-5 Sam. And move the football back a little bit to like the 50-yard line. All right, let's see what we're able to do with this new team. Phoenix McDonald with a good catch. Good tackle there by Deandre Law wearing number 51. Probably going to change his number. Oh, pressure gets there. Trying to take a shot downfield. Knight looks a little bit faster, which is nice to see. Get a couple pulling guards out there. Pitlick misses the block, but Tay Knight does what he needs to do. Cordell Hicks. He's now a senior. Number of players who we recruited in that first class are seniors. Jackson Harvey, Bo Weaver, Cordell Hicks. See if we get Phoenix McDonald more involved in the run game with his speed. Uh-oh. Makes plays like this. We'll definitely have to keep him involved in the run game. That's an easy score right there. Let's see. Nathan Ellenbecker. Bad throw. Good job by the pulling guards. Break a tackle. Nice run there by Tay Knight. Let's see. Try going deep. Oh my. That's not a good throw at all. Alright, let's see. Ellenbecker. Who is this Jalen Tate and where did he come from? Can't make a throw on target. Nice easy dump down. Good catch. See if we can hit Cordell Hicks up the seam. Oh my. Overthrows everyone. Not a good sign for Jalen Tate if all of his throws are like this. Alright, let's mix it up a little. New formation. We'll go with some split slot. Get Jalen Tate involved in the running game. Get a 3-3-5 package out there. Oh. He has 80 throw power. Threw it 50 yards in the air. There's a good run. We saw Tay Knight have his best game of his career. Oh my. In the final game of the season last year. Rakeem Boyd with the speed. Alright, let's see. Can we hit Tay Knight up the seam? Nope. No time. I think I'm going to work with the playbook a little bit too. Maneuver some plays around, get some new ones in there. So we can have maybe a little more triple option featuring different players. I think we'll also see Rakeem Boyd and Tay Knight maybe split the carries 50-50 roughly. And with that, then we can have, when Boyd is the back, have Tay Knight split out wide receiver as our slot receiver to help give us another receiving target. I think there is a chance you could see our receiving, like in a 4 wide receiver set, see it be Patton, McDonald, and then in the slot Cordell Hicks and Tay Knight with Boyd as the back. So I just don't trust some of these other receivers we have on the roster. That was a big hit. I think that was Ladorian McCray. That was Deandre Law. I mean, maybe he is. It's a Zakowski with a good tackle. Alright, Cordell Hicks. Good block. Good throw. See, that's what we're looking for. That was a good throw. Bringing a blitz. Escape out. Chuck it downfield. What a throw. Touchdown. See, those are the type of plays we can see him make. And then we also see those really bad misses. Like that one behind the receiver. Just the ups and downs of Jalen Tate. But what he never struggles to do, for the most part, is run the football. I also want to add an empty set to our formation to just have a easy way of getting Tay Knight split out wide along with Cordell Hicks. Yeah, we all along it's just been he's been Aaron Rodgers with dreadlocks. All right, Ellen Becker, let's see what you can do. No chance. Good tackle by DeMarco Anderson. Gonna continue to see plays like this. Allow him to be a receiving threat. Alright. Some crossing routes. Ellen Becker dropped it. Jacoby Patton, underthrown. Good catch. Yeah, so for the first time in the series, our number one receiver won't be Deontay Knox. It's now, that was a good catch. It's now Jacoby Patton. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. It wouldn't surprise me if he didn't lead us in receiving yards. You could see that being Cordell Hicks, even Dontavius Knight, depending on how we use him as a receiver. Maybe if Phoenix McDonald can break out, get some big plays downfield. Good coverage downfield there. There's Xavier Thomas coming up, making a play. I'm interested to see how he and Shedrick Simpson are able to do as our ends. If we can get Deron Covington to take another step forward. No Sylvia as a pass rusher, but Jackson Harvey in that role now. LaDorian McCray still a starter. Add Deandre Law. So I think our linebacking core has a chance to get better. Secondary, pretty much everyone who started a lot of the season is back. We return all of our starting corners. Zakowski's back. And then DeMarco Anderson, who started a good bit of the season, will also be back. They're getting some good pressure so far. What kind of throw is that? I want to see if I can hit Patton on this deep crosser. That doesn't help. Oh, I saw a hole. This may be the most inaccurate throws Jalen Tate's made in his entire career. Not a good showing in practice. Oh. Cornerback blitz. Let's see. What can he do? Now I just want to see if I can make him scramble and do crazy things. No. Go away. Stop. I don't think I've seen that play work yet, but I really like that play. Where you motion everyone out of the backfield to run a QB draw. I feel like that's like a real life thing. Like that's a play a lot of teams run, especially when you have a running quarterback. Uh-oh. 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 Bounces off one. Good run there. All right. Let's get some other players in here now. So we'll get Rakeem Boyd at receiver. Try Tyler Lanning, Trey Bryant, and Ethan Miller. See if any of them flash. Let's see. Christopher won't let me. See Daniel Woods. See what he can do. Keep that the same. On defense, try out Trey Thomas. Defensive tackle, Justice O'Connor and Terrence Bell. Logan McGee. Want to keep Deandre Law out there. Ladorian McCray. Let's see. Terrence Mitchell. Latrell Hill. And Zayshawn Jones. Free safety. Get Quintez Stevenson out there. And Donnell Beecham. He was a junior college player. Didn't redshirt last year. I think he's got potential. We're going to keep Jalen Tatum just a little bit longer to see how, because he's got a better arm than Weston Carver, to see how he's able to do with the new receivers. So we'll go spread with the dime. See what Lanning, Miller, and Bryant are able to do. If we can get an accurate pass. Boyd with a good run. Trey Bryant's got some good speed. That was a good one. Nice cut. Ooh, I want to hit this deep. Darn it. They need to stop blitzing. Tyler Lanning, I think, has a good bit of talent. Here, let's get Cordell Hicks out of there. Get a different receiver. Let's do Dontavius Knight. See how he can do in the slot. Latrell Hill makes a play. I would assume once Hooper moves on, he'll be our new nickel corner. He's currently our dime corner. Was our dime corner last year. All right, Tay Knight up the seam. What can you do? Make a play. That was a good tackle. I think that's Donnell Beecham. Oh my. Like, that's impressive, Jalen, that you threw it 60 yards in the air. But that's not really what we're looking for today. This man may be the death of me. That was a good pick. Not sure if he got 2 feet in bounds, but one thing I need to do more is juke with Rakeem Boyd. My man thinks he's 2017 Josh Allen out here. All right. Go, J.R. Miller's brother. You can do it. Good coverage. All right, let's see. All right, let's see some new faces. Weston Carver, the backup quarterback. And we'll get Christian Smith-Brown And no Whiting out there. Split slot. We'll go nickel 3-3-5. Smith Brown's now our fastest running back. He has potential to be a pretty good receiving back as well. Could be a nice replacement for Tay Knight. Couple nice throws for Weston Carver. See what he can do running the ball. Nice broken tackle. Okay. Want to see if he can be successful in case it happens where Jalen Tate gets hurt. Okay, not perfectly accurate, clearly. Alright, Christian Smith Brown making plays. Okay. Nice run by Noah Whiting. Holds on to the football at the end. There's a nice throw and catch to Tyler Lanning. Alright, roll out. Go downfield. For some reason, Whiting looks bigger than I think he is. I want to say he's like 5'8". But he looks pretty large. Okay, no, he's 5'10", 206. Okay, that makes more sense. Nice play in coverage by Zayshawn Jones. Every year got... Oh, my. Who was that? Deandre Law with the big play. There's a nice catch. In my head, Christian Smith Brown, quicker receiving back, but that was a good catch by Noah Whiting. YC is more of the slower, but like power back. Nice block there. I also want to try out more of the load option this year. I think it has the potential to be successful when you've got a lead blocker like that with the speed option. Latrell Hill, nice break on the football. Alright, let's hit one of the wheel routes. Or get sacked. I think with more time, Tyler Lanning can be good for us. He's got good speed, good ability, just needs more time to develop. Nice run by Christian Smith Brown. Another drop. Alright, let's see. So I think Weston Carver adds a nice element. Try out Isaiah Simon and Chancellor Adams. At receiver, let's get Antoine Williams outside with his size. Then Travion Hart outside. Who else do we have on the roster down here? Brandon Harrison. And we'll go with Ethan Miller. So let's see. We'll do spread flex week. The only thing with Simon is he doesn't have a very strong arm. That was a big hit. Deandre Law. I'm excited to see him actually play some real games. I feel like in some ways Simon is either a light version of, oh wow, Brandon Harrison's fast, but he's a maybe better version of J.R. Miller or a worse version of Jalen Tate, somewhere in the middle there. because he's slower than Tate, worse arm, but sort of similar in that he's a running quarterback. But he's faster than J.R. Miller. In similar-ish arm, I think with development, could get pretty close to what J.R. Miller's was. There's a good run. Shows off some deceptive speed. Alright, let's test how far he can throw the football. Pretty far. Antoine Williams doesn't make a play in the football, though. I'm interested to see how... What the heck was that? Travion Hart and Antoine Williams. How big do they play as receivers? Because they are both 6'3". Hart's definitely faster, a better athlete. Okay. Can we just get one accurate jump ball? Quintez Stevenson. Alright. Underneath, Harrison. Show your speed. Nice catch by Travion Hart. Now a little screen. See what he can do with it. Good gain. So yeah, I think if after Tate moves on and Simon was our quarterback, you would see a lot of real short passes, a lot of screen passes, and just easy completions, along with more option like we've been doing. Especially if we continue to get faster receivers, I think that could be a big benefit for us. Make a play. Yeah, so Simon will be redshirted along with, we'll put Elijah Eason in, because he would be, he's a freshman now, would be the third string quarterback behind Weston Carver and Jalen Tate, so not worth him like wasting that year of eligibility. Alright, Elijah Eason, a little bigger, a little better arm, but not the athlete. Let's see, Chancellor Adams. Nice cut, good run. I think Adams has the potential to be good for us too. In, what would that be, like season 7, I think is what it would be. It'll be him, Christian Smith-Brown, and Noah Whiting. I think that has the potential to be a pretty solid running back core with a variety of different skill sets. Because as we've seen, I like to get a number of different backs involved, as we saw by 4 different players having 500 yards rushing last year. These quarterbacks. That's a good throw. As soon as I was about to criticize them, say they're struggling, then we get a throw like that. And a throw like that. Good job by Brandon Harrison hanging on to the football. Let's see what you can do. Good throw. Antoine Williams creating some separation, which is good to see. Somehow got the football away. Alright, they're going to blitz off that side. I just want a jump ball where he wins. He's 6'3" with good jumping. He has one job. Alright, let's try something else. Do a little red zone. We'll go twin tight end. With 4-3, we're just going to throw some jump balls. What can you do, Antoine Williams? Can you make a play? Can you throw it in bounds? Maybe we need to back up a little. See, you're seeing why we ran the ball so much. There's one. There's another. Alright, maybe Antoine Williams has found his role in this team moving forward after he redshirts. Easy. Alright, now let's change it. Try with Travion Hart, our two biggest receivers. Can't bring that one in. I have no idea. I don't know what my man's is doing. I'm worried. These quarterbacks of the future, do they know how to throw a football? Questions that need answers. That was a shot. That's a pick six. Come on, you can do it. I just want you to make one play. You can do it, Travion. Terrence Mitchell putting him in the coffin corner. There we go, finally. That was a good one. We'll get a second look at that one. Good throw, great catch. Actually have some speed or size now in our receiving core. Goes up, takes it away. Let's see. Back it up. Yeah, they're both getting redshirted, no doubt. I don't know what is wrong with these people. Let's see. Get some new defensive players in there. What can Rayshawn Brailsford do at 51 overall? But he's a good athlete, and I like good athletes. LaShawn Olsen. Let's see, Jordan Hurt. Then Keel Foster. That's a nice play. Christopher. Oh no. Antoine Williams. Make a play. Oh, that was your opportunity. That's a good throw. Alright, Christopher Smith. Wheel route. Fullback. No. In my head, my hope is, good catch, that Christopher Smith can be think his name was Dimitri Flowers for Oklahoma, with Baker and Kyler, like, split him out wide at receiver, played tight end, played fullback, did pretty much everything. Have him be that role for us. I think he has the potential to do it. All right, LaShawn Olsen. Who was that? Keel Foster, I think, is who that one was. That was a good play. Now that's what we like to see. Perfect comeback ball. Now that's Keel Foster. Guess the other one was Jordan Hurt who made that nice play, knocking it down. I don't know who that was for. Nice job by Xavier Thomas getting off the block and making the play. Oh my goodness. Look at that throw. Beautiful. I just saw it back on the replay. These are your future Coyote quarterbacks right here. Get excited. I mean, the air was wide open, though. Let's see. The real #1 quarterback on this team. Chancellor Adams, not very fast right now. Who has a better deep ball? Might be Tay Knight versus Elijah Eason. Scoop. Can he make the timing throw? Oh, so close. It's weird with a running back at quarterback, it won't let me audible. Which I never knew. Okay, maybe not the future of quarterback here. Yeah, I mean, that was a perfect throw to, I think that was Latrell Hill. Oh, that was about to be so good. Who needs a quarterback? What are they good for? I don't know if it's a single good team in college or professional football that has a good quarterback. Leave me alone. Yes. Oh. No, I'm just having fun. Okay. Right on the money. Just a bit outside. Okay, that was a good run. What a beautiful throw. Keel Foster wide open for the touchdown. Like, do you see how good of a throw that is? That was perfect on the run across his body right to a person. Was it the right person? Maybe not. Yay! Good interception. LaShawn Olsen for the win. Oh, it was the opportunity for the fullback wheel route. We missed it. Can we do it again? No. Fullback up the seam. Yes, touchdown. Woo. Make a block. Oh my. Jordan Hurt. Laying the hurt, if you know what I'm saying. Yay, touchdown. All right. I think that's pretty much going to do it for the stream. Hope to have a new video up probably Monday and have the off-season recap up by Wednesday would be the goal. And then we can get into season 5, see all these new faces actually play their first real game and see how much players we've already seen, how much they can improve and what the impact of former backups can have on this roster this season. But I appreciate everyone coming out. It was a lot of fun, another fun live stream, another fun off season. But I'll see you next time for that off season recap. Have a great